Welcome to this week's special edition of From the Cinema, Oscar Edition. Now, this week at the JC Cinema, the Office of Student Involvement will be hosting its first ever Oscar movie marathon. Screenings of iconic films such as Casablanca, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, Citizen Kane, The Silence of the Lambs, and Pulp Fiction will be leading up to a special live streaming of the Oscar ceremony Sunday night at 7 o'clock. More info for the event can be found at Student Involvement's website, their Facebook page, and their Twitter. Be sure to come and hang out with other film lovers for a night full of fun and excitement. This is our Super Bowl, guys. Go crazy. I know I am. Love movies. But I digress. Let's get back to the awards race. The polls officially closed Tuesday the 19th, so all we have left to do in these next few days is firm up our predictions and ready our justifications and arguments for why so-and-so won and just how wrong the Academy ended up being. So let's jump right in and discuss some of the more popular races such as Best Picture and leave the more obscure categories such as sound mixing or documentary short feature for the more qualified Academy voters. So let's start with the supporting actress category. The nominees are Amy Adams for The Master, Sally Field for Lincoln, Anne Hathaway for Les Mis, Helen Hunt for The Sessions, and Jackie Weaver for Silver Linings Playbook. Now, Helen Hunt was long considered the frontrunner since her film premiered at Sundance months before any of the other nominees. Then Amy Adams showed up with quite the surprise performance and held her own against fellow nominees Philip Seymour Hoffman and Joaquin Phoenix in The Master. Sally Field made a splash as Miss Lincoln and is considered the runner-up. Unfortunately, this category has basically been a lock for the extremely overrated Anne Hathaway ever since it was announced that she was going to be Fantine in Les Mis. This was even before anybody saw her performance. The widespread popularity of the musical, combined with the fan-favorite status of the character of Fantine, meant that as long as Hathaway didn't completely screw up, she was going to be a shoo-in for the award. And she didn't screw up. She was fine. But award-worthy? I think not. Amy Adams deserves it in my book. If only I could vote. Now for the men. The nominees for supporting actor are Alan Arkin for Argo, Robert De Niro for Silver Linings Playbook, Philip Seymour Hoffman for The Master, Tommy Lee Jones for Lincoln, and Christoph Waltz for Django Unchained. Now this is easily one of the closest races this year. And one thing that stands out in this category is that every dude has already won an award in the past. Now, Dwight Henry from Beasts of the Southern Wild deserves some love as a first-time actor for a somewhat controversial performance, but the Academy likes to play it safe and he didn't get a nomination. And now when I say safe, I mean really safe. Case in point, Christoph Waltz. He's basically playing the same character that he won for in 2009's Inglourious Basterds, another terrific Quentin Tarantino film. Now, while the character motivation is much different, his acting style is almost a direct copy of his previous character. The nomination is undeserved. Leonardo DiCaprio, however, would have fared better in the race if he had got the nomination instead of his Django co-star. For the overall race, it really is a toss-up between Robert De Niro and Tommy Lee Jones. Now, I'm sticking with Jones since he had a much bigger part in his film, though the Academy might want to reward Robert De Niro for actually being in a good movie for the first time in over 20 years. Now, let's change the pace up a little bit and move away from the acting awards. We'll come back to them, I promise. The driving force behind any movie, I believe, is a strong script. Now, the nominees for adapted screenplay are Argo, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Life of Pi, Lincoln, and Silver Linings Playbook. Argo's got this one in the bag, so let's not waste too much time on it because the original screenplay race is way more interesting anyway. The nominees for original screenplay are Amour, Django Unchained, Flight, Moonrise Kingdom, and Zero Dark 30. Now this is a very, very close race. Zero Dark 30 won the Writers Guild Award a couple of weeks ago, and that is usually a strong precursor for the eventual Academy winner. But here's the kicker. On technicalities, Amour and Django weren't even eligible. Now, since Amour has Best Foreign Film on lock, we can assume that the Academy will want to reward Django or Zero Dark 30. Another toss-up, but I'm going with Tarantino's Django, since the man is known for his strong screenplays, particularly Pulp Fiction, back when he won in the early 90s for original screenplay. Now, awards for categories like cinematography may be hard for casual viewers to predict or even notice, so I'll be brief. The nominees for achievement in cinematography are Django Unchained, Anna Karenina, Life of Pi, Lincoln, and Skyfall. Cinematography is, at its most basic definition, the camera work for a film. Since different movie genres require such different styles of camera work, it's almost impossible to decide between the two best. Now you got Anna Karenina, it's a dramatic period piece, and you got Skyfall, an action thriller. Now, though the Academy may be leaning more towards Life of Pi, I'm sticking with James Bond and Skyfall for this particular award. Now, staying behind the camera, the Best Director race this year is another tough one to figure out. The nominees are Michael Haneke for Amour, Ben Zeitlin for Beasts of the Southern Wild, Ang Lee for Life of Pi, Steven Spielberg for Lincoln, and David O. Russell for Silver Linings Playbook. Now, when Ben Affleck was egregiously snubbed for Argo, the race really opened up, and now it's turned out to be a fight between Spielberg and Lee, even though I honestly think Zeitlin deserves the award. I hope it's Lee, since I can't even imagine the directorial challenges behind creating Life of Pi, but I have a sinking feeling in my heart that Spielberg is going to walk away with the statue, despite this being his least Spielbergian film he has arguably ever made, as Lincoln really turned out to be a character-driven drama. Now back to the actors. The nominees for Best Actress are Jessica Chastain for Zero Dark 30, Jennifer Lawrence for Silver Linings Playbook, Emmanuel Riva for Amour, Quvenzhané Wallace for Beasts of the Southern Wild, and Naomi Watts for The Impossible. A race that at first was thought to be clinched for Lawrence has since been slipping away from her, as Riva has been gaining the public attention for her physically domineering role in the French film Amour. Now, if I were going to call one upset for the whole night, this is going to be where it's going to be at, so keep your eyes open. Now, the last acting category is for the Best Actor. The nominees are Bradley Cooper for Silver Linings Playbook, Daniel Day-Lewis for Lincoln, Hugh Jackman for Les Mis, Joaquin Phoenix for The Master, and Denzel Washington for Flight. Much like Anne Hathaway, Daniel Day-Lewis already walked out with the trophy months ago. Not much else to say competition-wise. I think Cooper deserves it for his amazing transformation from that hot guy in The Hangover to his amazing performance as a struggling bipolar teacher in Silver Linings Playbook. But once again, I can't vote. Now, finally, the Best Picture, the one you've all been waiting for. The nominees for Best Picture are Amour, Argo, Beasts of the Southern Wild, Django Unchained, Les Mis, Life of Pi, Lincoln, Silver Linings Playbook, and Zero Dark 30. Now, this has been a pretty great race, with more than 4 different films being ahead since October. Just recently, Argo ended up clinching it with the big awards from the Golden Globes, the BAFTAs, which is the British film equivalent to the Academy Awards, the Screen Actors Guild Award, the Producers Guild Award, and the Writers Guild Award. Those are all heavy precursors for the eventual Oscar winner. Now, I'm happy to say that it's been my personal pick for Best Picture since I saw it on opening day in mid-October, and I'm very glad that it deserves every award that it has gotten. Go Team Argo. So that about wraps everything up. I hope this episode provided you with another perspective and also heightened your excitement for an already exciting night. Feel free to add me on Facebook, stalk me in my movie musings on Twitter at @ADOD Film Critic, and watch my show either on YouTube or on Mason Cable Network, which is channel 231, all you Mason students. Be sure to tune in next week as I go more in depth with my analysis of Les Mis. Enjoy the Oscars this Sunday and have a great night.
On February the 1st, I intend to sign the 13th Amendment.
Wait, what's this?
Well, I thought you were doing it.
Oh, I thought you were doing it.
Aliens and robots? You don't have a better bad idea than this?
This is the best bad idea we have, sir. By far.
I love him, but every day I'm learning.
I'm not your friend. I'm not going to help you. I'm going to break you. Any question?
C'est moi. Anne. Qu'est-ce qui se passe?
The whole universe depends on everything fitting together just right. If one piece busts, even the smallest piece, the entire universe will get busted.
Sure that's him?
Yeah.
Positive?
I don't know.
You don't know if you're positive?
I don't know what positive means.
It means you're sure.
Yes.
Yes what?
Yes, I'm sure that's Ellis Brittle. I'm positive he did.